It's time for the Brown Sports Bag on WCLU, the official local sports show here in Glasgow and Barren County. And now, alongside John Butler, here is your host, James Brown.
Welcome back to the Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow this week. We got a lot to talk about here, John, and I'm James Brown, by the way, and that's John Butler, the John that I just said. We got a lot to talk about here. Maybe I'm a little rusty. I'm a little off at the start of the show. I'm not even sure what my name is. Anyway, we're going to start with softball this week, mostly because we discussed last week on the show, Barren and Glasgow both took the week off during spring break. Neither one of them played at all. They obviously practiced some, and we maybe we're a little hard on the Barren County program going into the spring break because they just didn't seem to be able to put together a rhythm, and they weren't playing particularly great. They were winning the games they probably should, but they were kind of losing pretty badly in some of the games. I'm excluding the South Warren game from that. In some of the other games that maybe they could have had a chance to win. But that week of practice got them back right because they played really well last week. They lost one game to Greenwood 6-5, and they came back in that game after getting down 5-1 and tied it up 5-5 and had a chance to win it. They just couldn't quite pull it off, and they won their other two games. So it was a good week for the Trojanettes.
Absolutely, good week. Getting a district win against Warren East 3-2, which makes them 1-1 in the district. Where got a big homer by Adley Cunningham. She was 2 for 4 and got a homer and 2 RBIs, which is kind of the game winner.
Yeah.
Shea Bogue. She struck out 5 and allowed 2 earned runs. Pitched the complete game and beat a game that they need. I think everybody probably wants to stay away from Allen, but I think Barren, East, and Glasgow are fairly close.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Probably their best game of the year was maybe the loss to Greenwood. I mean, Greenwood is a top 20 team in the state, and Barren battled them, lost 6-5 in a very, very competitive game, and really some probably fielding mistakes ended up being the difference of the game. Mm-hmm. Shea Bogue did a really nice job. She allowed 6 runs, but I think only 2 of the 6 were earned. Several mistakes led to that against a powerful Greenwood team. And then went on the road and beat Greene County 11-0. It's normally a really good win, but Greene's down this year.
Yeah.
But Nora Shirley had a big game. She had a home run. She was 3 for 4. She had 4 RBIs, and that moves Barron's record to 6-4, 1-1 in the district. But they have thrown some. They just hadn't played a ton of games. They're at 10, and like the baseball teams at 18 or whatever. So they hadn't played quite as many games as maybe in the past, but they've got some good wins. The Cumberland County is a good win.
Yes, it was.
Cumberland County is a good team. The Taylor County, they've knocked off Taylor County too, I believe, in softball. Yep. So, and then barely losing to Greenwood, the team is getting better.
Yeah. I saw Coach Murphy when Josie Moore was signing last week. And so I talked to him a little bit about taking back over the program for this year, and it, you kind of think about it. He didn't plan on doing this year, and so maybe it's taken a little while, even though a lot of the players had played for him because he'd only been gone a year. As the head coach, they had played for him, but maybe it's just getting reacclimated to him and how he coaches and what his expectations are and how he runs his practices. And they were a little late even getting him in there, a couple of weeks or 3 weeks before the season even started. And so it's got to take a little while to kind of get all that ironed out. And
Absolutely.
Maybe that week off is like the week where he's like, okay, we're getting reset. We got the whole season left in front of us. We can play better than we've been playing, and this is my expectation. And they came out and they responded. And going back to the Cunningham home run, I think that was her first career home run, a varsity home run. And, it's kind of players like that maybe are starting to find their place on the team and in the lineup and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was obviously a big hit for her, and a big win. They had to hang on against Warren East. They led most of the game. Warren East made a little bit of a late run, but Barren slammed the door. At least Shea Bogue did in the last inning.
Yes, she did.
So a good win and a good week. To go 2-1, your only loss is a one loss to Greenwood. I consider that a good week.
Yeah, and we'll talk about their coming week after we talk about the Glasgow Lady Scotties because they play each other tomorrow, and it's a big district game for both of them at this point. The Lady Scotties opened the week. They beat Edmonson County 8-4. That was a good win for them. And then they lost to Warren East 9-5, and they lost to Butler County 12-11 on Friday. Lost to East on Thursday. The thing about the week for them was they could have won both the East and the Butler County games. Clearly, they could have won the Butler County game. They were up 11-7 in that game and gave up 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning, or bottom of the 6th inning, I think it was. And so they had, I think, 9 unearned runs in those 2 losses. And you were talking about the Barren making some mistakes against Greenwood. That was basically the difference in those 2 games because I thought the hitting was absolutely good because Jacali Green opened the game against Butler County with a 3-run homer and then hit another home run in that game. And they had some good hits all through the week. They just couldn't quite put together the defense to hold on to those wins in those other 2 games outside of beating Edmonson County.
Yeah, Glasgow's record's 4-7. They're 0-2 in the district. They've lost to Allen and lost to East. That's the 9-5 loss to East. Well, I know one player had a good week. It's Jacali Green. She had a good.
Yeah.
She homered in every game. They played 3 games, and she had 4 homers. She had 2 against Butler. She homered against Edmonson and homered against Warren East. So
yeah.
that's pretty good day to say the least. And against Butler County, she had 6 RBIs to go with her 2 homers. Kayla Kilpatrick was 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. So offensively, they put up 8, 5, and 11. That's enough to win games. Mm-hmm. But you still got to pitch. You still got to catch it. And that was the difference last week. That's the difference between going 1-2 and then 2-1 or maybe 3-0 is defensively got to make more plays and so forth because it's too many runs to be given up. To be honest with you, but there's no question about it that Glasgow was improved this year. We thought they would be improved with all the players coming back. They're still very, very young, but also with the coaching staff that's got a lot of experience and so forth. So I do think this team, as well as Barren, will improve as the year goes on, and should be a really interesting game tomorrow.
Yeah. And also, I mean, both Barren and Glasgow have games today. Barren hosts Bowling Green. That'll be an interesting game.
Yeah, Bowling Green's really good this year.
Yeah, and so the 14th district is pretty much a threat across the board outside of Warren Central. I mean, the other 3 teams are pretty good this year.
Yeah, I think you can make the argument that 3 of the top 5 teams in the region are in the Bowling Green district.
Yeah, so that'll be a good test for Barren County today, and then of course Glasgow goes and plays at Russell County, and then they play each other tomorrow. And I'm curious to see a couple of things. One is for Glasgow, which of their 2 pitchers they decide to pitch, Kerrigan Hagan or Ava Maxey.
Or both.
Then, or both. And of course, we're going to see Shea.
We know who Barron's going to pitch.
Yeah, it might be Shea Bogue. It's been Shea Bogue in every game, I think, this season, so it's probably going to be Shea Bogue. But that'll be an interesting game because, like you said, I think Glasgow's offense is obviously playing well enough to win games. They've got to just, they got to clean up the mistakes on the defense, and of course, it's a rivalry game, and you go back, the last time they played each other was last year in that first round of the district tournament, and Glasgow nearly pulled the upset when they clearly were not a team expected to compete very closely in that game. 1
run, I believe, right?
Yeah, it went extra innings, and so it was a heck of a game.
And this game will be on our air tomorrow, right?
That's right.
Is this game at Barren or?
It's at Barren, and so we'll be carrying it on 104.7 with Jay Turner on the call.
That's correct.
And I think when they play each other again in a week or 2, it'll be on the 103.1 with Joe Myers on the call.
And the live stream, I believe, too.
Yep,
right?
That's right. And so you can. If you can't be there, then you can certainly listen to it. So that'll be an interesting game, I do believe. Anything else about the softball that stood out to you this past week?
No, South Warren continues to roll. I mean, they knocked off Assumption, top 5 in the state, I think they're the defending state champions, I believe, in softball. They knocked them off, and they're like.
They didn't just knock them off; they beat them 15-0, didn't they?
I believe that's right. They're like 20-0, just almost like they're kind of a college team. You got
they really
6
are.
D1 players. You're like that, and it's they have not won the state tournament yet. In fact, they hadn't been to the state finals, I don't believe.
That's right.
But this, you hate to jinx them, but man, they have an opportunity to run the table and be arguably one of the best teams in state history.
Yeah,
and that's how good they are.
I was going to say, hopefully,
and they got the best player in the state as well.
Yeah,
McLean Hudson.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully nothing goes incorrect for them through the rest of the season, because it is, sometimes it can be not exciting to have a program that is the dominant program over and over and over. But whenever you see a team that's like this one, that's something that's pretty interesting to pay attention to.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
They're a lot of fun to keep up with, and nothing else. All right, this is Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. When we come back, we'll be talking a little bit of high school baseball.
Welcome home to Local Sports with James Brown and the Brown Sports Bag on WCLU.
Welcome back to the Brown Sports Bag. James Brown, John Butler. We are presented by McDonald's of Glasgow, and we're going to chat a little bit about some high school baseball. The district doubleheaders begin today. And
doubleheaders in terms of Monday, Tuesday, not 2 games today.
That's right. That would make it even more fun, John. They just play 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Be done at midnight. Take the next day off from everything, probably. Yeah. Back-to-back days, I guess, not single-day doubleheaders.
They're playing a series, 2-game series.
Yeah, you're more accurate. Yes, I should have said 2-game series. That's more correct. And so today, Barren plays at Warren East. And, of course, they'll host Warren East tomorrow. Those games both begin at 5:30. And to be honest with you, and we'll talk about Glasgow too, because Glasgow plays at Allen today and then hosts Allen tomorrow. But to be honest with you, I'm really not sure how these district games are going to play out. Coming in after Barren County's trip to Florida, I would have thought that Barren looked like the best team in the district right now. But then last week they kind of tripped over themselves. I know they played a couple of good teams that they lost to, but sometimes it's not who you lose to, it's how you look when you're losing. And they ended up losing to Taylor County 17-2 and to South Warren 13-4. They had beaten Taylor County earlier in the season 9-2. So they just took 2 on straight on the chin last week against good teams. And so maybe it throws a little bit of doubt in my mind for today.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. Like we was talking off air, Barron's 9-9. It's their first district game. I think they were probably a little fatigued after coming back from Florida. I think they played 2 games in Florida on that last day on that Friday, and came back and then played Monday and then went to Taylor County on Tuesday.
Yeah,
and then played a really good South Warren team too. And even though Barron threw 2 of their better pitchers against Taylor and South Warren, Crawford and
Potter,
neither pitcher pitched very much. I mean, they got hit pretty good. And I think there's probably just a little mental fatigue a little bit, and maybe some physical fatigue. But they didn't play Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Right.
So, they should have their pitching lined up, and, should probably be rested and ready to go today. The problem against Warren East is, even though Warren East's record's not great, they got arguably the best, one of the top pitchers in the region, in the Vincent kid.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that Barron will face them either today or tomorrow. I don't know which day.
Yeah.
He'll be tough to beat. But, it wouldn't surprise me. I'd be surprised if Barron gets swept. It wouldn't surprise me at all if there's a split.
Yeah.
Who knows? Barron can win both of them. We'll see. But I don't put much stock into last week. Taylor County was probably sitting on that that game after Barron thumped them at Barron. And
true.
I do think fatigue probably played a little bit of a factor. That's just what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think as we talked about before, especially in this situation, I think Barron they may have 4 pitchers they can put out there who can compete right now. I mean, because Dylan Pointer is coming in as a closer a lot, and he doesn't let anything happen when he comes to the mound. So they've got – and then Landon Yules is pitching well, and then, of course, the top 2 that you mentioned, Crawford and Potter. So if you were to pick a series, if they were playing a series, I certainly would give Barren County the edge. And that's why, like you said, I think Warren East may win one of the games because Warren East plays a tough schedule, so their record is a little deceiving. You look at their record and you might think, well, they're not very good this year, but they play a heck of a schedule.
No, they don't hit it great,
No.
and that's part of their problem. But, yeah, they play – they always play a good schedule.
Yeah.
And they got a losing record. But Barron's had a good schedule too.
Oh, yeah.
Barron's 9-9, and, they played a legitimate schedule. When you're playing Madison Central and Lafayette and Taylor County twice and South Warrens, that's a good schedule.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a split because the Vincent kid is good enough for that. But I would be surprised if Barron got swept in that series. And I wouldn't be as surprised if Barron swept Warren East because Barron is better at the plate than Warren East.
I think so.
Meanwhile, the Glasgow Scotties, they played 4 games last week. They beat Caverna to start out the week. Didn't they win over at Campbellsville?
They actually played 5. They started off at Bowling Green, lost 6-2.
Oh, that's right. They did. You're right. They lost at Bowling Green on Monday. Dang, they played a lot of games
They
last
played
week.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about the Bowling Green game, which 6-2, it wasn't really a bad loss. Bowling Green might be the best team in the region. They're going to be right there.
Yeah. They had a good week. They went 12-10. Of course, they finished the week with that what do you call it?
2A.
The
2A state.
Whatever you call that. But they got the best win maybe of any team so far in this area on Wednesday when they knocked off Campbellsville 2-1.
Yes.
And Campbellsville, I think, is 18-2.
Uh-huh.
That has an outstanding baseball team and baseball program, and I think Campbellsville won like 14 in a row. And to beat Campbellsville, I think it was at Campbellsville too.
Yes.
It was Keaton Haynes. That game, he went 8 innings and went the whole game and went into extra innings. He went 8 and got the win. Only allowed 1 earned run in 8 innings. So huge win for them for Glasgow. Then they played Johnson Central. Now, Johnson Central is from the mountains. They're out of the 15th region, but they're one of the better mountain teams in all sports. They're really good in football. Got good basketball, baseball, and so forth. And that's where Carter Hodges continues his big run right now. You know, he shut them out 2-0, only allowed 1 hit. And that was Friday, which probably means he's not pitching today against Allen. And I'm guessing he probably could go tomorrow. But that was a big win in that format, whatever the format down there. And then they lost the next game, 14-1 to Whitley County.
Yeah, Whitley ended up winning the tournament. They beat LaRue in the championship 4-0 later that same day. Whitley's been a very good program in recent years.
I agree.
Won the state championship in 2023. Seemed to be always have a heck of a group of pitchers because, at that tournament, they hardly let up anything. Going back to the Campbellsville win for Glasgow, there were a couple of interesting things about that game to me. You mentioned Keaton Haynes pitched all 8 innings, and that just generally does not happen in high school baseball.
Yeah, because there's a pitch count.
Yes.
So that means, he got by without exerting a lot of pitches.
He threw 91 pitches in that game, 60 strikes.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't usually pay attention to people's pitch counts, or especially like that number of pitches and strikes pitched. But that's an impressive performance. That's the kind of performance that the baseball stat nerds probably love because you can kind of dig into some numbers on that game and see what kind of pitching performance he had plus the kind of defense Glasgow played in that game. Because, Campbellsville, as you pointed out, they are one of the better programs in the state at the moment. They're usually very good, and they're certainly going to be one of those in the 5th region, probably with Taylor County and LaRue.
Those are the 3.
Yeah,
those are the top 3 teams. Central Hardin.
Yeah, Central Hardin. Those programs every year are like the ones you got to look out for in the 5th region. But yeah, that was a heck of a win. And then going back to what you said about Hodges pitching in that Johnson Central game, I think he gave up 2 hits in that game. He had a heck of a pitching performance. 1 hit. That's right. 1 hit in that game. So, it's been there. Glasgow's got a series of pitchers right now who also look very good because even Peyton Limley, I think his ERA is like 2.8 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So he's having an outstanding season, which means, with this matchup with Allen County today, I thought Allen was more competitive this year, and I'm sure they do have a pitcher that, because they usually do, that they can win a game with, but they've not played as strong a schedule as Glasgow, Barron, and Warren East in the district.
True.
And so it's kind of hard to tell what they really look like. And I think it'll be an interesting kind of thing today when Glasgow goes over there and play.
I mean, Glasgow can lose, but again, I can see Glasgow. I can see them winning both of these.
Yeah.
I think split at the worst.
Yeah.
But don't know if Hodges will pitch or not. I know he won't pitch today.
Yeah.
But I assume he'll be ready probably tomorrow. I think it'd probably be Limley or Keaton Haynes.
Yeah, I would bank on Limley today, and then we and see what happens. That Keaton Haynes performance was kind of a little bit of an outlier for him.
Yeah, this will be his 5th day.
Yeah,
so he could come back if they needed him.
He might be on a hot streak. Maybe you stick him back out there and see if he's still on a hot streak.
All right.
Meanwhile, the rest, like I said, then Glasgow hosts Allen County tomorrow, and we will broadcast that game on 103.1 with Joe Myers on the call tomorrow. And let's see, what was the other thing I was going to mention about this? The rest of the week, I didn't even pay attention really to the rest of the week. I just kind of drilled in on these back-to-back district games this week and didn't really look at the rest of the week.
Yeah,
these guys.
I think Barron's on the radio Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Got Green County Friday, and I can't remember who comes in Thursday.
Yeah, we've got several Barren County broadcasts this week. I think 4 in total.
Right.
Today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. We've had some Glasgow broadcasts back before spring break, so they'll slow down a little bit. We're going to pick up a bunch of Barren County broadcasts on 104.7 over the next 3 weeks or so, whatever it is. Of course, we're really a month away from the district tournament, which is kind of crazy how these seasons work out at this point. Anything else about the high school baseball that stood out to you?
No, I mean, it's like I said, they've been blessed with good weather. So they've had very few rainouts, to be honest with you. It's been a tremendous weather. Even the only complaint I have about the weather, it's very allergic time of year. Other than that, but that's Kentucky, right, in the spring.
Yeah, allergic. That's
allergic.
We're gonna. Hey, man, we're putting that one on a hat and selling it to people. All right.
Yep, that's it. Just give me a cut.
We'll do. All right, this is Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. We'll be right back.
Welcome home to local sports with James Brown and the Brown Sports Bag on WCLU.
John, one of the greatest sporting events is starting on Thursday. Really, everybody pays attention to Thursday. Friday and Saturday, they kind of tune out. And that would be the NFL draft. It's one of your favorite nights of the year, isn't it?
I enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, it's a great TV, just for TV and drama and things like that. Yeah, I do enjoy it.
So,
I mean, the difference between the NFL and draft, the NBA draft, you barely know the players.
Yeah.
A lot of them from overseas, and some of the players that are drafted, may have only played 1 year. You don't even know them. Yeah. Baseball, you don't know very many of those, and once they're drafted, you won't see them in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, that's right.
The NFL,
they don't have an immediate impact.
Yeah, outside of some offensive linemen and so forth, most fairly regular football sports fans recognize, who the running back is at Notre Dame. Yeah. Or the quarterback at Indiana, or the quarterback at Alabama, or whatever. So, you kind of know these guys a little bit.
That does make this draft interesting to me, because you just pointed out the thing that I think is kind of hanging over this draft. Yes, we know the stars, and usually those stars are going to be a wide receiver, a quarterback, and maybe a running back. But we don't generally know, unless they're just like an Orlando Pace offensive lineman or something like that. We don't know their names. And a lot of times we don't know the defensive backs' names unless, they are Charles Woodson.
Deion Sanders, yeah.
Deion Sanders. Right. And this draft is full of what I would consider then the no-name positions.
It is. It's the buzz is down on this draft, mainly because the quarterback. The quarterback is the one that people are most familiar with. Yeah. Most important players on the team too, and there's just not a lot of top quarterbacks out there, to be honest with you. It's in next year's class.
Yes, that's right.
And the top one is Fernando Mendoza from Indiana, and everybody knows he's going number 1 to the Raiders, so there's no drama there. Right. So the only real drama with the quarterbacks is where is the Alabama quarterback, Ty Simpson, going to go? Yeah. he will probably go somewhere in the first round just because of there will be a team or two desperate, but he is definitely not a first-round quarterback. You just go by he hadn't played enough games and hadn't played well enough. He's definitely a second or third round, but because of the dynamics of the league, somebody will take a stab and try to, we'll draft him. I have no idea, who's going to get him or whatever, but that's the only real drama is watching where he goes or where he falls and so forth.
All right, with that in mind, we're gonna play a little game here, John.
Okay.
I didn't warn you about this ahead of time.
All right.
I'm going to give you the name of the person who's projected to go number 2.
Okay.
And you tell me which college they played for.
In position.
If you can try the position if you want to take a stab at that too.
All right.
That would be great. All right. The projected number 2 pick, and this is going. I'm using the CBS Sports one here instead of the ESPN one. Maybe to make it a little trickier for you. All right. The projected number 2 is David Bailey.
David Bailey, I think he is a defensive end from TCU.
Close. He is a defensive end, but he's from Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, okay. Yeah.
And this is not the local Glasgow David Bailey, who also probably could have been an NFL draft pick.
Right, yeah.
How about Arvell Reese?
Arvell Reese, I think it's Ohio State. Is that
Yep,
right?
yep.
Yeah, he's a defensive back, I believe, safety.
He's an end.
Okay.
Well, it says edge, which is an edge rusher, I guess.
All
Is what
right. All right.
They don't like put things like defensive end anymore.
Okay.
They put edge rusher
All right.
instead
He's
of
a defensive player. Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, that's pretty good. I mean, you've been on the right team with one, and you've been in the right position with the other one.
Okay.
So you're
close.
Yeah, you're close to 100%. How about Jeremiah Love?
Oh, that's easy. Notre Dame running back.
Yes, and that's pick number 4, allegedly going to the Titans, and I find that a little bit surprising.
That'd be he may be the best player in the draft. It'd be something that a rookie quarterback would love to have.
Yeah, I mean, so Ward can hand him the ball instead of just getting
They got so many
pummeled.
holes at Tennessee, though. That's the thing. They need a whole lot of players.
Yeah, they
generally a great running back kind of gets you over the top. Mm-hmm. Just kind of that's the piece.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be wrong to take him, but they have so many other needs too.
So that particular draft slot smells like a trade out to get more picks to fill out the roster.
That's very good.
That's what that sniffs at to me.
Okay.
Now, they've made some changes at Tennessee. In the past, they'd have just taken a quarterback in that spot.
Well, they don't need a quarterback.
No, they don't. They don't. But it feels like their prior regime would have just taken a quarterback or a wide receiver in that spot, no matter whether they needed one or not. All right, how about this? I'm going to see if I can not mess up this man's name. Francis Mauigoa.
That sounds like an offensive lineman.
You nailed that. Which school, John?
I don't know. Oregon?
No, Miami. In the past, he probably would have gone to Oregon,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
That was also an excellent guess. How about Caden Proctor?
That's a defensive back, maybe. I don't know.
No, offensive tackle, Alabama.
Okay. That's right. He was on. They did a piece on him. Okay.
Yeah. Now this is the one I'm interested in. Sonny Styles.
Oh, that's a linebacker, Ohio State.
Yeah. Now I got a little story for you here about Sonny Styles. He played at Westlake, maybe something like that in Ohio. My son knows this. And so one year, my son wanted me to come up to Ohio when he was living up there, and we'd go to the boys' state basketball tournament, and they were playing at Dayton, at the Dayton Flyers Arena.
Right.
And so Sonny Styles was playing on the team that won the state championship, and he was playing on the basketball team, right? And he was the best basketball player on the court. And so we left, and I'm like, you mean he's going to play defensive back at Ohio State? And I just had that memory. I just had that thought that sometimes the best athlete is just absolutely the best athlete.
Right.
And in that combine, he proved to be the best athlete as well.
He's a
this year.
linebacker, yeah, but he can play linebacker, edge.
Yeah.
They say he's a special player.
He's certainly physically a special player.
Right.
How about Carnell Tate?
That's the defensive back.
Nope.
That's a receiver. I'm sorry, that's a receiver. Colonel
Yes.
Tate, Ohio State.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. The money that Ohio State
They've
spent,
had a ton of great receivers.
Yes. The money they spent a couple of years ago didn't pan out with the national title, but it did pan out with a bunch of top draft picks. How about Reuben Bain Jr.?
Reuben Bain Jr. Is that a receiver too?
Nope.
What is that? Who is he?
That is a defensive end, played
Okay.
at Miami.
Okay.
Now, I think there's some speculation that he might actually be the best defensive player.
Well, I saw Miami play last year, and their defensive line was tremendous.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good. I'm a little bit surprised. Now, I will admit, I didn't spend a whole lot of time watching Texas Tech football this past year, but I will admit that I thought Reuben Bain Jr. was probably the best defensive lineman I saw in terms of like defensive end, that kind of thing, because he was big and fast, and he didn't miss a tackle. And a lot of times when he was tackling people, they probably felt it.
Couldn't beat Louisville, though.
True. Hey, that was when Louisville was good.
Yeah.
Before they started kind of skidding at the end of the year. All right. I'm going to give you one more. All right. Actually, I'm going to give you two more. How about Jordan Tyson?
That's a receiver.
Yes.
Yeah, Arizona State, man.
You got that one. You got that one. All right. This one, I'm giving this one to you just because of the name. Mansour Delane.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, that is a. I don't know if the dude is from Southern Louisiana.
Yeah, or
but that's
French.
the most Southern Louisiana name I think I've ever heard.
Right.
So he's a cornerback from LSU.
Okay.
That's why I
Yeah.
gave that one to you. See, he could be from Nova Scotia or I don't know, Quebec or something like that. Who knows? But I guess I'm going to ask you again this year. I mean, what is it about the draft that really you really just enjoy so much?
I don't know. I enjoy watching. Of course, I love the NFL.
Yeah.
From fantasy football to just watching the games and so forth. I just kind of like the. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I just think it's highly entertaining TV. A lot of drama and it's just the players are very, very appreciative. You can see that, and I just think it's pretty cool.
I wonder if a draft like this, where you don't seem to have just like a best player, like Cam Ward was the best player in that draft last year. Everybody knew they were going to pick him first, and I understand that Mendoza is the best quarterback in this draft, and he might be a good NFL quarterback.
Going to a team that needs a quarterback.
Yeah. So I mean, it's an obvious pick.
Yes.
But I don't know that. A lot of people, as you mentioned, that draft class for quarterbacks next year is considered to be maybe one of the best ones in a while.
I wouldn't be surprised 10 years from now we'll be doing this for colleges.
Yeah. Do draft for colleges? It would be interesting.
Why not? I mean, it's kind of that way right now anyway, the transfer portal.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? That's what they should do, a transfer night.
Yep.
You put your name in there, but you can't pick your school. And you just get picked by whomever. You were the number one player at Liberty, and now you're going to BYU.
Yep, and your money is slotted in there.
That's right. That's a great idea, John. You know what would happen immediately? People would stop transferring.
Yeah, that's kind of my madness behind it. That's exactly right.
Just cut that right off. It'd be
right.
done.
You can either go or stay.
Yeah. You can enter your name in this draft class to go to another school, or you can stick around here.
That's right.
That's right. I think that's a brilliant idea. I think that might be the best idea yet, and we don't need Congress's help with that.
No, we don't need that. Stay out of it.
But anyway, I do. But my actual question about when I was talking about a not clearly best player, even though Mendoza is going to go to the team.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's more of
he's probably not the best player overall, but he's at the most important position, going to a team that doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah,
so
it's more of a match than it is.
It's a match. That's exactly right.
But I'm curious, in a draft like this, will there be more like draft night trades? More moves and that kind of stuff, since people aren't really. Maybe people are looking for value more than they are actually a player.
Well, the Bengals yesterday traded their first pick, the number 10 overall pick, to the Giants for that defensive lineman.
Yeah.
So they don't have a first-round pick.
Yeah.
They got an all-pro defensive lineman.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see
They're
how much
somebody
more
they know that can play rather than an unknown, but they're also having to pay a big price.
Right. Yeah.
When you get a first-round pick, they're expensive, but not that expensive.
Right.
And the guy they took, they have to pay $28 million a year. So.
Yeah. I wonder if that says, which is kind of interesting because they traded away the defensive lineman they had.
Yes, this guy's younger.
Yeah. Right.
And wanted out of the Giants. So
yeah, I don't know why anybody would want out of the Giants. It's not been a great place to be of late.
Well, they've won a couple Super Bowls here now, and they got a new regime with John Harbaugh.
What was the last time they won a Super Bowl? Was 14 years ago?
Eli
12
won
years
two.
ago?
Yeah. That's not ancient. It's not like it's in the 60s or 70s.
No, it's true. It's true. It's not as long ago as the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's correct.
Or the Cleveland Browns, for that matter.
Or Dallas.
Or Dallas. You're right. Some of these legacy teams have not sniffed a Super Bowl in quite a while.
Quite a while.
Yeah, that's a good point, John. Anything else on the NFL or NFL draft that stands out to you?
Will you watch it?
I will. Last year, we did a live show, and we're not going to be able to do that this year just because we got too many commitments of games being played and that kind of stuff. So that was pretty cool to do that last year, and I used to do another one over in Bowling Green a few years ago. And so I like watching the draft. And I like watching the draft less for who is picked and more for like that kind of wheeling and dealing stuff. I'm always fascinated to see the general managers and the organizations that make moves, and then I kind of like to revisit those a few years later to see if they really worked out. Because it's a bit ironic to me that some organizations never seem to figure this out.
Jets
And the Browns. I mean, they stand out. The Cardinals, I would say, can't figure it out.
Terrible franchise.
And it doesn't matter who the coaches are or the GMs. They seem to just routinely get it not quite right.
Agree.
And so I find that part fascinating. And then I find secondarily fascinating the ones that seem to always get it right, either not necessarily by how they draft, but just how they build their teams.
True.
By the combination of, maybe trades, free agent signings and drafts and that kind of stuff.
Green Bay's good.
Yeah, Green Bay. I mean, the Ravens seem to keep it together.
Ravens are good, yeah.
I mentioned the Steelers not winning a Super Bowl, but they're never bad.
Never bad.
And the Cowboys, they've been up and down. They're not as consistent.
Right.
But, yeah, or the 49ers of late.
49ers are good.
They never seem to be bad. They seem to handle their business pretty well. So it's kind of interesting to see the different organizations seem to figure it out and the ones that never seem to figure it out.
True.
So I enjoy that part of it as well as far as the draft and the off-season stuff. All right, this is Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. We'll be right back.
Welcome home to Local Sports with James Brown and the Brown Sports Bag on WCLU.
Welcome back to the Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. James Brown and John Butler here. We are I'm dying. It's allergy season. John is dying. It's allergy season. Joy. Let the world bloom, I suppose. Anyway, so anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about some high school track. They had the first gold and blue track invitational on Friday. They ran it over at Barren County, and it's kind of a partnership between the Barren County and Glasgow track programs. I didn't get a chance to ask them this, but I take it every year they're gonna have it at Barren one year and at Glasgow one year, and they'll just alternate back and forth. I take it that because of how it was laid out and set up and that kind of thing. And it was a fairly well-attended track meet. South Warren was over there. They ended up winning both the boys and the girls team events or team scores. But there were some outstanding performances, I think, over there. And one of the things that has stood out to me this year, I will say this about the meet: three of the athletes as individuals who are who might have a shot at winning a state medal did not participate. Jarek Martin had signed earlier on Friday, and so he wasn't running on Friday afternoon. And then Riley Wilson and Grayson Billingsley, they actually went and did the Eastern Relays, so that's a big event. So
yes,
they went up there and performed pretty well overall at that event. But the one thing that has stood out to me for Glasgow, at least, is their 4x100 and 4x200 boys relay teams are really good this year, and the girls 4x100 team is doing really well as well. I think the 4x2 is pretty good as well. But right now, the 4x100 team, which is Jalen Bradley, Keyshawn Austin, Cabron Jones, and Jaden Estes, they are number one in Class 1A with a time of 43.37. That's their best time this year. and then their 4x2, which is that same. Well, actually, that is the 4 that ran Friday and ran a 1:30.94 in the 4x2, and they are the number 1 team in the 4x2 and 1A is Campbellsville, and they've run a 1:30.46, so they're right there on the door of that 4x2. I think that 4x100 team with that actual time had Jarek Martin running instead of Jaden Estes whenever they set that time. So they are a really good relay team, and they're right there. And then, like I said, the girls team for Glasgow is really good as well. Barren County's distance runners, Molly Beckham, had a good day over there at the Gold and Blue event. Right now, she's running a little bit behind a girl from South Warren, whose name I can't think of, who's like one of the top runners in the state. They run in 3A in Barren. We've discussed this before. You don't know why they have classifications for track.
I don't.
But they do. And so they are in that 3A distance running on the girls and the boys. That's usually the best in the state. You've got some really good runners up there in those different ones. And when I say really good, I don't just mean really good Kentucky. I mean nationally really good runners. So that's who like Molly and that group, Audrey Nutzman and all, have to compete against as some of the nationally best distance runners. And then, of course, tomorrow we're going to have the Terry Reed Track Classic. That's always a big event over there in honor of longtime coach Terry Reed. And
be a lot of people on campus tomorrow.
Yeah, there will be. You got a baseball game, a softball game between Barren and Glasgow, the baseball game between Barren and Warren East. You have the Terry Reed Track Classic. It's usually a pretty full event. And I believe there's a tennis match going on at the same time back behind the school.
Good gracious.
Yeah, so you better get there maybe before school gets out and park somewhere so you can stick around and wait for everything to get started. But, yeah, there will be a bunch going on over there tomorrow. But, yeah, that's always a big event over there with Terry, in honor of Terry Reed, who is still out there working these events, John.
Yes.
So, it's once again, this year we have, for probably about the 5th year in a row, we have some athletes who have shots at winning or defending state titles, because Jarek Martin is the 1A long jump state title holder from last year. So, I mean, it's another stellar track season for us around here, John.
Yeah, we've been on a roll in terms of regional champions and state champions in the last, 5-6 years?
Yeah. It got going with, I guess, Taylor Ogles and Caroline Murphy,
right,
and winning state meets. And then we had Chesney McPherson, who ended up finishing second, I think, in the 3,200 one year. She was really good, real close. And then, of course, we've had Jarek Martin. We've had some Caroline Murphy came back and won in the hurdles after she had won in the high jump one year. And so we've had a really good just run of folks who have set some high standards. And I look forward to seeing this. Do you have a favorite track event?
I like the sprint. I mean, I like the relays.
Yeah.
I mean, just from pure watching, I really like the relays a lot.
It's pretty impressive how, when you see a good relay team, how they can be so smooth in their out of the blocks, their exchanges, and just
there's some technique. You got to be fast, but you got to have the right technique too.
Yeah. I think when you look at it, I mean, there's technique in every event, but that relay, most every other event, it's your individual technique. You're not really having to worry about what somebody else's technique is and that kind of stuff. You've got your technique, and then you just have the physical ability to do whatever it is you're doing. And the relays are the one team event of track and field, I guess.
Yep, it is.
So it's always a lot of fun to watch that. And I don't know. I'll tell you another one that I do like is when you see a good 400 runner. Mm-hmm. Because
it's one lap.
Yeah, it's one lap around.
It's a sprint, basically.
It is, but there's also a certain form to it because of how, for the most part, most people just can't dead sprint for 400 meters.
Right.
So you got you've got a sprint area and kind of a...
It's a controlled sprint.
Yeah. So you got an area
ones.
they kind of refer to as your cruise area a lot of times, where you're trying to get that as much speed as you possibly can and then carry that speed.
Yeah, I like that one. I like the one, they don't have it in high school, the jump over the water pit.
Yeah, the steeplechase.
I like that one.
You go to some of these meets, like these big meets, and they will have steeplechases, and people will go sign up for them and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that that one's quite a bit different than any other thing you can possibly do at a track and field.
Yeah, you're jumping. It's long distance over hurdles and occasionally a water pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why that is a part of a track and field, but nonetheless, yeah, it's a pretty interesting one. I think the pole vault, especially in high school, is pretty interesting because you want to talk about suspension of fear. You got to do that if you're going to be, especially when you're getting up there, if you're clearing, 10, 12, 13 feet. I mean, that's not like world record stuff, but if you just think about yourself being upside down 14 feet off the ground.
It's above a basketball goal.
Yeah, yeah.
Basketball goes 10 feet.
Yeah. You could pole vault yourself into the second row of stands at Barren County High School.
Yeah. No, it's I couldn't do it. You got to have a little daredevil in you.
Yeah. Yeah, and then a lot of technique.
A lot of technique and strength.
Yes. Yeah, because you got to convert all that speed into that thing that flexes underneath you as you do it, and then, think to yourself, well, this is not going to break.
That's right.
And then propel yourself over that bar. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Anyway, once again this year we've got some outstanding track athletes. I think you should go check them out, especially at the Terry Reid Track Classic tomorrow. You can walk around at Barren County High School and see just about everything.
That's exactly right.
All right, it's Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. We'll be back next week.
You've been listening to the Brown Sports Bag on WCLU. Be sure to join James and John again next Monday at 4 for another edition of the Brown Sports Bag.